Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Triple N Media. I am Dr. NIK NIKAM. I want to share with you an interesting project I'm working on, and that is COVID-19 pandemic 2019-2020. I am using ProWriterAid along with Grammarly to look for grammatical mistakes and look at various statistics. So what I would like to do is I have already run the statistics on this approximately 350 pages long book, and I would like to show you the statistics that was generated by ProWriterAid. And here are the numbers. I'm just going to walk you through some of these numbers. This book is nowhere close to being a readable material at this time. Anyway, it says the overall score is 84, grammar 87, because I checked the grammar a couple of times, but still a lot of things need to be fixed. Spelling 93% and style 72. There are approximately 70,000 words, 4,800 plus sentences, and 3,400 paragraphs, all this stuff. And here are most unusual words like COVID, FaceTime, pathogenesis. Those are some of the medical terms. And it also shows the most frequently used articles and conjunctions, things like that. You can go and pick up these things. The next step would be for me to print this one and pick up some of the important key words that are repetitious. Use the search and replace function in the Word and go through systematically from the first page to the last page and look at the instance and see if there's something that can be replaced with a better word, or you just leave it as it is and move on to the next one. And here are some of the things which are showing here. The flash reading ease was 61, which is just about the target of 60. But anyway, here it tells there are like 352 very difficult to read paragraph. And most of this is medical stuff, so it's not surprising it's difficult to read, but I have to fix those paragraphs. Then we have 187 slightly difficult to read. So this gives us an idea about what are the things we need to be looking and fixing. And here are some of the overused words like could, ing, was, were. So I can go back and look at like this 135. I could search and replace, or I could just search for this global search. It will show up all these 324 instances. I just had to go through each one of them step by step and try to fix them, or try to minimize, as it is said here, to reduce by 135 count. All right, that's so much for that. Then it also gives us an idea as to how many sentences were having variations, how many sentences were too long. And I had to go back and look at these long sentences, which may be combined with conjunctions, and see if I can simplify those sentences so that I can improve on this long sentence score. And here it shows the length of the sentences. And here are some passive. ProWriterAid is too crazy about passive verbs. In fact, I was listening to one of the experts who talked about what is the purpose of writing. The purpose of writing is to entertain, educate, and inform people. If the message is clear, if people are informed, if they are educated, if they find some value, they will go along with whatever is there. But mine, it keeps tagging this passive index. It says it should be less than 25. It says mine is like 7, but still every page I see like 3, 4, 5, 6 passive verbs. And I was getting tired of fixing those, and finally I may have to just, now I know I'm less than 25%, I may have to just turn off that particular feature. So it will minimize the number of corrections I have to make. When I ran the entire 350-page document, it picked up like 1200 possible mistakes that could be corrected. Before that, I ran Grammarly, a free version, and it picked up like over 1,000 common errors. Some of them were spelling, some of them were related to the word positions and noun and verb mismatch, along with comma. Grammarly is very heavy on comma. It wants to put comma in too many places. And half of the corrections I made in Grammarly was like putting commas in my sentences. However, ProWriterAid picked up a lot of other things. Grammarly will also do the same thing, but I don't have a paid version right now. I may use it before I am ready to submit this book for a copy editor. So here are some of the words which they say are repetitious. I can just circle these words or print this report, go and search these words using global search in the word, and then try to maybe find synonyms and come up with something. Here's another weird thing about the ProWriterAid, that it doesn't like more than. It wants you to put over. I was getting tired of this because there is 85 instances and every one of them it wants me to replace more than with over. Why should I? Because you're not giving any variations. You're not telling me how to make it more versatile. You're just telling me to replace one word with another one, whereas more than adequately gives the message which I'm trying to convey. Again, see, like here at the beginning of the sentence, it doesn't like it. Due to, it wants to replace everything with because of. Why should I? Maybe I can replace half of them with because of or for, but not every one of them needs to be replaced with their suggestions. All of these things are tagged as errors. That's how it comes up with 1200 possible errors. And here are some issues related to rely, really. There's only one instance of each one of these, which I can fix it as I go through the entire corrections. And here are some of the things related to the country names and hours, US foods. Then it says there are 320 sticky sentences. The target should be 0. I don't know, anybody can write a 350-page book with no sticky sentences. That's fine. It says I have glue index, that is combining phrases, combining sentences, or combining different thoughts in the same sentence. Mine was 42 and it should be below 40. So when I break down these complex sentences, hopefully the glue index will be much less and probably it will look much better. So this gives a very, very good insight into what are some of the things you can change. And while you're doing that, you also, what I do is I have this text reader activated on my Microsoft Word, and here is the text reader. And if I turn on the text reader, I can highlight a paragraph and have the computer read the text back to me. And when I listen to the text, it is like I'm listening to a third person telling my own story. It's very hard to swallow our own story, but that's a different story altogether. So when I listen to that, I can pick up some subtle differences, like from or form, things like that, where the letters are interchanged, that can be picked up. And also we can pick up some things that can be moved around to make the sentence a little more legible. All right, so the dialogue, I had very little dialogue. That is not an issue. Slow pacing, I don't know. Transitions, I have like 1700 and. So I need to go back and kick this and, some of them at least, from this document. And also I have for. I have to go looking for these fors and see what I can do, because 646, maybe some of them I can just bury them. And same thing with or. I don't know if I can change or, but maybe I can find a synonym like I will just type the word for and go to the word and find 4 or 5 synonyms and write it down in a notebook. So every time I see for, see if I can replace it with something that is different. So it won't be like looking 646 or and, which is and can be replaced with as well as, in addition to. Like, again, this like may be a redundant word in most instances. I have 152 instances. I can fix those things. By fixing all these things, the sentences become more compact, more concrete. As a result, the reading becomes easier for people who are trying to pay to buy your book. So these are some of the sentences they are talking about. So, and here are some vague words. It says would, all, like, also, about. So these are the words which ProWriterAid is telling me. These are vague words. They may not add any additional information than the main subject, object, and the verb. So some of these things can be eliminated to make the book more concise and compact. I hope this has been useful to you. I think you can run the same stats using Grammarly. I have not tried that one, but running these stats is a great way to find out what are the areas where we need to go back and do a global search and fix some of these high repetitious numbers. I hope this will be useful to you with your next book editing. Thank you so much for watching, and please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll see you next time. I am Dr. Nik Nikam, and by the way, my book should be ready in about 3 months. Look for it on Amazon.com. It's called COVID-19 Pandemic 2019-2020. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.